Just as the laws of the universe are precise and definite, the laws of Mother Nature are designed to bring harmony to all creation on planet Earth. However, our climate is rapidly changing, and the devastating effect of man-made global warming is one of the greatest threats facing mankind in the 21st century. Industrialization, pollution, deforestation, habitat loss and water, food and energy scarcity are the major drivers of climate change, destroying our natural environments and the communities that live within them. It is time to rethink our consumption patterns that are beyond the carrying capacity of this lone blue planet. We need to change. We need to live more sustainable lives. We need to plan for future generations. We must create revolutionary models of sustainable development.
Let's look at the carbon footprint for different modes of transportation. And remember, the bigger the carbon footprint, the more carbon dioxide we are producing, the worse it is for the environment. So, how do you travel to school? Walking, train, bus, a small car, a big car, a plane? So, what do you think is the most environment-friendly way to travel? Of course, walking. Walking has the smallest footprint, while flying produces a whole heap of carbon dioxide. So the next time you go on a holiday, take the train. Now that we have an idea of what a carbon footprint is, let's talk about how each one of us can reduce our own carbon footprint. Let me tell you some stories about the amazing things people are already doing all over India to help stop global warming and protect our environment. This is Preeti Patil. She runs a canteen at the Mumbai Port Trust. One day, Preeti had a great idea. She used all the waste from her kitchen canteen and mixed it with cow dung and sugarcane waste. She used this mixture to make her own soil. She is now growing all sorts of fruits, vegetables and flowers on the terrace of her canteen. The terrace almost looks like a jungle with all the plants and trees. In another great example, the Convent of Jesus and Mary School in Hampton Court, Mussoorie has become a zero waste school with the help of Mr. Vipin Kumar, one of the teachers at the school. Mr. Kumar has made the school a zero garbage zone wherein students in all classes learn how to segregate their own classroom waste into two bins, biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste. Each student from class 4 to 10 collects solid or dry waste from 5 homes once a week and brings it into the school. This waste is taken to the waste management room where it is separated into all sorts of different kinds of waste. This waste is then sold to rag pickers who in turn sell it for recycling. At the Rishi Valley School in Andhra Pradesh, the same place that we saw the terrible drought, the students and teachers have got together to save water in some amazing ways. The school is practicing rainwater harvesting, where every rain drop is cherished, collected, reused, recycled, and conserved through percolation tanks and wastewater treatment. While the students have learned to check their own water meters, so they know how much water they are using. One of the things almost all schools can do is conserve and save electricity. Here are some very useful ideas that other schools have used on their campuses. Barefoot College in Tilonia, Rajasthan. The entire college campus is totally self-sufficient with a 40 kilowatt solar energy unit meeting all its energy needs. Other examples of energy conservation in schools are the Presentation Convent in Delhi and Rishi Valley School in Andhra Pradesh. Here is a list of 10 things that you can do. Start greening. Grow plants in your kitchen, balcony and building colony. Start a plantation drive in your school. Segregate your wet and dry waste. Compost the wet waste while recycling the dry waste. Become a conscious consumer and tell your parents to become the same. Start saving electricity. Use renewable energy whenever you can. Use public transport, walk or cycle. Conserve water. Get your building and school to start rainwater harvesting. Tell everybody about what you learned today.
For Environmental Research and Education have attempted to do just that by creating Surya Aranya, the forest of the sun. Surya Aranya, a renewable nano power plant, a sculpture, an outdoor light solution, a symbol of nature and a communicator for conservation. This unique installation is a cluster of 6 solar trees that combine aesthetics and functionality. The trees have been handcrafted of all weatherproof fiberglass with filigreed leaves in different hues of green, orange and red, representing the changing seasons as reflected in the Indian almond tree. Amongst the leaves are embedded 14 solar panels that produce 750 watts of energy, which self-illuminate the installation and power 28 surrounding garden lights from dusk to dawn. Each tree trunk bears 2 stylized symbols of highly endangered plant and animal species in India to bring to light the fact that promoting solar energy helps conserve habitats, biodiversity and our natural ecosystems. This simple yet highly effective pro-planet innovation can successfully provide a sustainable solution to complex and interrelated environmental issues. Our beautiful blue planet is home to millions of species. We humans must learn to conserve precious natural resources to save the only abode known to mankind. Surya Aranya is a unique collective initiative between Tata Capital, the Center for Environmental Research and Education, Design Directions, Autonic Energy Systems and the Lodha Group, harnessing the limitless power of the sun to light up our lives and our future. Surya Aranya.